What's up? Good morning to you, Marlon Sanders here. Jeff Walker's product launch formula. I want to talk to you briefly about it. So, a gazillion billion freaking years ago, Jeff Walker came out with product launch formula. I didn't do it I haven't done it during my career. And the reason is, frankly, I never needed to. However, with that said, in the current environment, I think it's actually a good idea because in the past it was a lot for based on my model, it was a lot easier to sell really large amounts of lower dollar products than it is right now. Not that you can't do it right now, not that some people don't easily do it, but for me and my style and how I want to market, it's more challenging. That's because of the way the affiliate game works, and I'm just the affiliate thing today is a much different game than it was before. And so Jeff came out with product launch formula, and it's really great for selling bigger ticket products. And he has a lot of poster boy, poster girl stories. And this is an aside. I just read something that reminds me of my live streams. So Coach Michael Burr was on a webinar the other day, a Zoom, and people weren't paying attention, and he just ended it. He's like, I'm not going to talk to people who aren't engaging and so forth. I just really cracked up because it is kind of how social media is today. It's like attention is a real challenge, to get today. So anyway, for those of you who are watching on the replay, and it matters too, it's a pretty big deal. Just as an example, one of my customers, I believe, from way back, his wife, and I may have the name wrong, I'm not sure, but his wife, and he started using product launch formula in 2015. They were already doing fairly well, but today they'll do about, I think, 4 million, 5 million bucks based on the product launch formula, right? So Jeff Walker created a great system. It has stood the test of time. People are like, oh, does that product launch thing still work? Yeah, actually, it still works really, really freaking well. And there's people crushing it with it. And so, yeah. Elsewhere, I talked about this yesterday. For whatever reasons, probably to the way I run these live streams, our participation is not good. That doesn't really please me. So I may go to doing these once a week, just one live stream a week. I'm contemplating it because if you aren't showing up, I'm obviously not serving you. If I'm talking about topics you don't care about, all right, go find another mentor, right? If you don't care, then find someone else. This is what I do. I made a living full time since actually longer than I can remember doing this stuff. Almost longer than I can remember. Since 1997, right? So I don't need to be on here doing live streams to teach you. I come on here because I like it provides some spillover benefit to my business, but I have other things that I can do in this time slot in the morning. And so I only say this because I as far as I can say, I don't have anybody watching right now, so I'm talking to myself. I know some will watch on replay. For those of you who watch on replay, I could have given you a heck of a lot more value if you were on here live. because when I do research, I don't just do like surface level research. When I do research, like I researched how Denise Duffield built her launch business. Um, I probably research it deeper than anybody else in this business does, right? It's probably a fair statement. Be that as it may, I'll leave you, for those of you who do watch the replay, I'm going to leave you with one golden thing. You can predict your business size of your launch like really freaking easy. Just all you need is a calculator, right? And so you start off with the amount of money you want to make. So let's just say you want to make 20,000 this month, right? Let's say you're selling a $1,000 product, right? So that means you need to sell 20 of them. So you make 20,000 bucks, you need to sell 20 of $1,000 product. Now, out of the people who register for her launch, who join the launch, meaning they opt in for it, she'll convert about, on average, 3%. So the way you do this is say, okay, I need 20 sales. How many opt-ins do I need to get 20 sales? So I'm no good at math. There's a easy way to do this, but I'll just say take 500 times 1%. So that would be 5 sales. We need 20 sales. So we have to see, is this realistic, or how we're going to get there, right? So we would need 1, 2, 3, 4% conversion, which she's gotten 4% conversion, but that's really not realistic. So you say, okay, how many to make my 20,000 to get my 20 sales? How many opt-ins do I actually need? So we would take 1,000 times 1% is 10. So 2% of 1,000, that would be a realistic conversion, would be your 20 sales, right? 3% would be over that. So you need somewhere between 750 to 1,000 opt-ins. Now, let's say you can get 200 opt-ins from your list. That means you need to get 800 more opt-ins from JV partners or from paid advertising is what it means. You need 800 more opt-ins. You're way long way. So if you could only get 200 opt-ins for a launch off of your list times a conversion rate of 3% on the launch, that would be 6 sales. That would be $6,000. And your goal is 20,000. So you can see how you have a huge, massive shortfall there. But you can predict, based on how many opt-ins you're able to get for a launch, how much money you're going to make. If all you can get is 300 opt-ins, you know that in all probability, all you're going to make on that launch, let's see here. You got 300. Let's say you got 300 opt-ins. 300 times 3%. That's 9. So you would make $9,000. However, hold on. Let's say the price point was $2,000. Then your 300 times your 3%. That's 9 times 2,000. That would be 18,000. That would almost be your $2,000 right there. But you would have to convert 2%. Now, maybe a more average, somewhere in that 1 to 4% is what she converts typically on her launches of the people who opt in, right? And so you say, okay, what about a $1,500? So let's say I can get 300 opt-ins times the same 3%. No, let's do it like this. 500 opt-ins. No, 500. No, we'll stick with 300 times 2%. So 300 times 2%, that's 6 sales. So if you needed to make $20,000, you would take 20 divided by 6. That means your price point would have to be like 3,000. That's a tough price point, right? So if your price point is 2,000, you know that you need 10 cells. You need 10 cells. So 300 times 3%, that's 9 cells. That's real close if your price point's $2,000. So what this does is let you calculate that. Now, the flip side of that is you can say, okay, let's say I'm going to have 1,000 leads, but I'm only going to convert 2%. That's 20 times $1,000 price. If I did this right, yeah, 1,000 times 2%. That's 20 times 1,000, and that's very realistic. 2% conversion to 1,000. That's $20,000 right there. So you say, but I don't have 1,000 opt-ins. You can only get 300, 200, or 300. So you need 700 or 800 opt-ins from affiliates, or you need it from paid ads. That's how you calculate your income. Not only calculate your income, that lets you predict your income. Or that's how Denise does it, right? That's how Denise does it. Those are pretty realistic figures. Those are pretty realistic figures. So I think this is really useful and helpful. You say, well, I mean, there's other ways to do it. If you're selling mid tickets, you know, you could say, well, you know, I normally get this many clicks. I know I normally on this price point, I'm going to convert this percentage amount, what you have in your history of your promotions. So you can pretty much then go to your list and extrapolate what you've got to do in order to sell $20,000 of, say, like, let's just look at it, 20,000 divided by, let's say it's a $200 product. That's 100 cells. You got to say, am I realistically going to get 100 cells off my list, right? So you'd have to have a pretty good list to get 100 cells off of your list. Yeah, you need a pretty good list for doing that, right? Because if you got 5,000 people and you need 100 cells, what's that? 100 divided by 5,000, that's what, two, is that right? 5,000 times 2%. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get, you're probably going to get a 1% convert, because you're just talking about the list, right? If you got 5,000 people on there, you're probably going to get at most 50 cells of that $200 product. And maybe just a 0.5%, maybe 25 cells, right? So this is why I'm saying Jeff Walker's product launch formula is pretty brilliant, because it allows you to sell at the higher price points. Because like making your 20 grand off a $200 product, you probably ain't converting 2% on that. You're probably converting 0.5% to 1%, or maybe a 0.5%, right? So you're like, if you get, let's say you're converting a 0.5%, that's 25 cells times 200. That was $5,000 instead of $20,000, right? Like you're way the heck short. You're way short. You're way, way short. Now she had, like, Denise, in my research, I found where she actually broke down a $200 launch and talked about it, but it was just as much work as her $2,500 launch. In her case, her current price, I mean, she started out like at $500, $200, then $500, then $750, then $1,000. Currently, it's, you know, it's $2,500, but she can get 33,000 opt-ins for her last challenge. She got 33,000 opt-ins for it, and they converted at 4%. So you can run the numbers yourself. 33,000 times 4%. That's 1,320 cells, I believe, times $2,500. So that's a 3,300,000 launch if I did those numbers correct, right? Now I believe that's right. 3.3 million is what she did on that. But you can run the numbers. And this is something no one really talks to you about at all. Pretty much not at all, of what realistically, what are you going to do on your numbers? Like, now that doesn't mean you can't sell more. Like, let's say you got a little, I mean, I had Connie Green did 100,000 off of a 600 person list, but how did she do it? Selling people over the phone. Like, if you got a small list and you want to make 20,000 bucks, either you're going to need to have JV partners, you're going to need to run ads, you're going to need to probably phone sell people. That's just the reality of it. You don't have enough momentum on a small list, because on a 600 person list, if you ain't closing them on the phone, 600 times optimistically 3%. Let's see. So 600 times 3%. I believe that's 18 cells. So I don't think I'm doing that right. 600. Oh, those aren't opt-ins. Those are just people on your list. You're probably converting 1% of them. So 600 times 1%, that's 6 people. Yeah, that's about right. So 6,000 if it's a $1,000 product, 12,000 if it's a $2,000 product. But now let's say you were phone selling them and you had 6 sales times 2,500, that's 15,000 bucks. If you had 6 sales times your 3,000, you're almost at 20,000. You're at 18,000 bucks. So this gives you a way to figure out how much income you're going to make. Now, I understand you may be watching this and you're a raw beginner or whatever, right? And you're like, oh God, Marlon, these numbers are way the heck over my head. At least you know the numbers. At least someone told you, because ain't nobody else telling you. Ain't nobody else telling you, right? Ain't nobody else telling you. So, all right, guys, you all have a great day. I got numbers to run on my own next launch. I'm like going through actually numbers for what I'm going to be doing. And I think this is really freaking useful because it helps you be realistic. It helps you plan and think about the amount of money you want to make, the number of leads or opt-ins you need to get to make that amount of money, and what's kind of realistic based on your list size. Or if it's not realistic, what you got to add in terms of paid leads from paid advertising. Like, let's say you are short 700 leads. You're like, I need 700 leads more. 700, you can get leads using Facebook lead ads for $2 each. So that's 700 times 2. That's 1,400 bucks advertising budget. Now, will you convert those at 3%? Probably not. I don't know what you'll convert those leads at, but you're at least a lot closer than just being 700 people short and thinking you're going to reach the 20,000 goal on a $1,000 product, right? If you only got a 300 person list. Now, that's for Facebook lead ads. If you're getting the regular opt-in leads, which convert faster and a higher percent, but those are going to be 5 to 10 bucks. You need 700 at $5. That's 3,500 bucks. You need 700 at $10. That's 7,000 bucks. But hopefully you're selling 20,000. Now, the way Denise plans out her budget is 10. She does just 10%. So her budget if she was doing a $20,000 launch, she would want to spend 10% of that on ads. So she would only be spending 2,000 bucks. But if you took 2,000 bucks and you divided it by $2 Facebook lead ads opt-ins, that's 1,000 opt-ins. Add that to your 300, and now you've got 1,300 opt-ins. And let's say that you convert 1%. That's 13 cells, and you want to make 20,000. So 20,000 divided by 13, $1,500 product, and you're there. $1,500 product, and you just hit 20,000, right? So that shows you how to think about buying the leads that you need. Shows you how to think about buying the leads you need. Now, you can also take the $2,000 and run an affiliate contest and say, like, the top affiliate for promoting the launch gets $2,000, or have a contest for leads, and the affiliate who gets the most opt-ins wins $2,000. You could do it that way. And you might get a lot more leads that way than if you buy them from Facebook. It's possible they're better leads. It's possible they're better leads. I mean, if you got 300 on your list, you need 700. You're willing to put up 2,000 to the number one affiliate. That might work. I don't know. It might work. And they could be really crappy. They could send you really crappy opt-ins, or you might get really great ones. You might get a lot better than cold because they could be warm. The ones you get from Facebook ads are going to be cold. And honestly, I don't know how the conversions are going to work on those. In the past, I've done absolutely horrible converting Facebook ad leads. I'll be honest. Right. I think they got to be, you got to have a real plan. They got to be focused. They got to be nurtured right. And you got to run a structured launch. I mean, that's a whole body of knowledge to successfully run those Facebook ads. I don't think you're gonna have a good result just doing it on the whim. But it does show you how to think about it, and it does show you what's realistic and what's probably not realistic. It shows you if you can get 300 opt-ins for your launch, you want to make $20,000, you better probably be phone selling. You probably better be phone selling, right? So, all right. Okay, guys, I hope that's useful to you. Hope you learned something from it. Y'all have a great day.